Listen on radio, smart speakers, and our free mobile app, WSKO Syracuse. A Cumulus media station, the voice of the Central New York sports fan. The Score, 1260. Welcome to your home for local sports in Syracuse. Outside the Box Score with Mark Rowlands starts right now.
Top of the morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. We got Josh Boheim in the studio once again, as always. No Braylon today. Braylon couldn't make it in. Happy St. Patrick's Day weekend to all. Josh and I both wearing green. We got the green lights on in the studio. I even changed the color on the stream of
for the background.
No, the banner on the bottom. That's green today as well. So we're going full out for St. Patrick's Day. Today, of course, parade day here in Syracuse. If you are going to the parade, make sure to be responsible. As always, be safe. There's going to be a lot of consumption going on this weekend, and I advise everyone to be safe and responsible. Yep. While I say that, Josh and I do have Guinness, no free ads, but do have Guinness here in the studio today, so we're going to pour that bad boy and enjoy that over the course of the show as a celebration.
The one day a year, if you can't enjoy a nice Myers Creek brewery beer, then enjoy Guinness.
And speaking of Myers Creek, and I recommend that people stop by Myers this weekend. It should be a great spot this weekend, today especially. And they have on the menu right now for this week, maybe a little longer, a absolutely delightful Irish red ale.
Ooh.
It's just called Irish Red. They didn't go all out with the name.
Don't need to.
They were just like, keep it simple, Irish Red. And I had it the other night, and it's absolutely delicious.
Love that.
They don't bring it out very often, but when they do, that's my go-to. And they have multiple stouts that you can enjoy as well, always on tap. So if you want to check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, those are some of a few of the 16 options that they have on tap at both the Cazenovia and Inner Harbor locations. A lot of stuff to talk about in the world of sports. I think we're gonna talk local. Okay. Don't get me wrong. We've got high school basketball state tournament going on right now. Local team playing for a state title later today. Might not be the one you think though. We had a couple of teams that made it to the state tournament in Glens Falls, New York. Okay. So I've actually got a former colleague, buddy of mine, Jacob Johnson. If you want to find him on Twitter, I'll get his Twitter handle and tell you guys. He's currently out there in Glens Falls. He lives out in that area. He's from the Lake George area.
It's an Oswego guy, yeah.
He is an Oswego guy.
Yeah, I know the name.
It's at J Johnson PXP. He was also the inaugural play-by-play man for the Elmira Mammoth. I think it's a ACHL, one of those smaller hockey leagues in New York State. He was their first play-by-play guy.
That's pretty cool.
Last year. So he's great. He's a tremendous hockey play-by-play guy. Really, really great guy, too. You might remember he was on the Man-Child show with Boy Green. We worked together there. We worked together at Oswego. So if you want to keep up to date with all the stuff happening in the state high school basketball tournament, he's the guy to follow. He's in Glens Falls right now. So that's at J Johnson, JOHNSON PXP on Twitter if you want to give him a follow. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk a little SU men's, women's basketball. But this weekend,
it's dead.
Well, yeah, SU, yeah, it's dead. But we have an interesting question from Jim in the chat that we'll talk about.
Okay.
But this weekend, for all the Irish celebration and all that stuff, tomorrow's a big day.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow, outside of being St. Patrick's Day,
well, yeah,
is Selection Sunday.
This is March.
We're gonna have an outside the box score extra innings for you, by the way, this week of Josh, a couple other buddies. I'm gonna consider getting or I'm gonna reach out, see if we can get like a bracketologist or something.
I hear Lenardi's free.
He would be number 4,000 on my list of people I text.
People are pretty pissed off at him.
He's bad.
Well, did you see last night he tweeted that Virginia had already won the game basically when they were up 5 with 3 minutes to play or whatever? And he's like, well, with Virginia's win tonight, they're pretty much sealed up.
Yeah,
and then they lose and they're done.
Joe Lenardi, last year, they ranked a bunch of bracketologists.
Yep.
You know where they ranked Joe Lenardi?
Outside the top 50?
85.
He's a hack.
I personally have talked to 3 bracketologists better than Joe Lenardi.
Yeah.
The guy stinks.
I mean, he's the Adam Schefter of bracketology.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's ESPN just gets the media, Mark.
No,
it's those big media guys shoving him down our
What
throat.
I compared him to the other day was he's the Mel Kiper of basketball.
Tot.
He's college basketball's Mel Kiper because he sits in a closet for 8 months out of the year. And then ESPN brings him out, and they're like,
ESPN undoes the chains around his ankles and lets him walk.
And they're like, you're our guy.
Yeah.
I'm convinced he watches a tenth of the games.
He's just a numbers guy, right? A lot of those people are just analytics. Those are he's the net rankings king, Mark.
Oh, he is a big net ranking
Joe.
guy.
Yeah.
Which is part of why I think he's bad. And this isn't even like the fact that he hated Syracuse all year.
Right.
That doesn't bother me. And Syracuse was a middling team for a lot of the year.
Sure.
And Jim says Lenardi is trying to guess what the committee is going to do, remember? Yeah, I understand that. He's been bad at it. He's been not very good the past few years. So, I shout out Tim Kruger, who does a great job over at Stadium. He's a really good bracketologist that I've talked to a couple times. And he's been right on the money with some teams. He also covers Creighton.
Okay.
He's a bracketologist and he covers Creighton, which is one of my favorite teams to make a little bit of a run this year.
In the best conference in college basketball, that gives you a lot of credibility.
Yeah, it does. Creighton is so good. I know they lost, which shocked me that they lost yesterday or 2 days ago, but I could see them going on a bit of a run. But anyway, so outside the box score, extra innings coming this week. We're going to do the whole bracket.
I love it.
Once the bracket's released,
favorite time of year.
It's fantastic. I love going through the bracket. And if you want to fill out a bracket, you go over to my Twitter and my pinned tweet. I created a bracket group for the show this year.
Oh.
Outside the box score official tournament bracket. It's on ESPN Tournament Challenge or Bracket Challenge. Or no, Tournament Challenge. Yeah, that's what it is. It's on, I had to remember. It's on ESPN Tournament Challenge. It's called Outside the Box Score Bracket Bonanza.
Okay.
Because I'm obsessed with alliteration. And I'm thinking it's going to be a little prize for the winner.
Ooh, cash prize?
Not a cash prize.
Something better?
Oh, absolutely. A prize from our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company.
Oh. Get a 4-pack of some beer?
4-pack or 2, maybe a hat, maybe, we might be able to put together a little prize package for the winner. Jim just put the link in the chat because he's essentially the mod of this Twitch chat, and I love it.
He's fantastic.
He's great. And so he has put the link in the Twitch chat. If you copy that, go over to ESPN, join the bracket group. We're going to have a prize of Myers Creek beer for the winner. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm in 4 bracket groups this year already.
That's so many brackets.
I'm I only do one bracket.
Okay. And you just put the same one. I was going to say, the more and more I fill them out, it's like By the time I do 2 or 3, I'm just like, I'm picking the same thing. Why would I think anything different's gonna happen?
Not every year.
Yeah.
But some years I'll do like a secondary one that's just bananas. It's like, oh yeah, I've got a 14 going to the Final Four. Why not? So I do that sometimes. But yeah, I'm usually a one bracket guy because, and we know a guy who's a multiple bracket guy.
We do.
And he will go unnamed. But when he's like, yeah, I had him in my bracket, then you look at the bracket and it's like, no, you didn't. He's like, no, the other bracket.
Yeah.
Like, well, that doesn't count. Like,
you fill out 10 brackets, you're gonna pick every upset in each of them if you're doing different brackets.
Exactly.
It's just gonna happen.
Yeah.
So you didn't guess everything. I hate that.
Yeah.
It sucks.
So I don't like being that guy.
The only thing I could see with 2 different brackets, or if you get it down to a Final Four and then you're like, well, maybe instead of Arizona, I think Houston's actually going to win. And then the other one, you're like, I actually think Arizona's going to win. Or however that works, which are your last 2 teams or something, if you can't debate on the final. But I don't know.
But yeah, join the bracket challenge. Like I said, outside the box score bracket bonanza. Like I said, obsessed with alliteration. I need alliteration in everything I do.
Oh yeah.
And prize of wonderful, delicious beer of your choosing, by the way.
Ooh.
I'm not just gonna, go there and grab some Floating on By or grab some Velvet Fog. I'm gonna let you pick what beer you want.
And when you pick the fog, we'll give you the fog.
And yes, when you pick the Velvet Fog, it'll be the Velvet Fog, or it could be Floating on By. It could be right now they've got this Dolphy Day beer. Love the name. In collaboration with LeMoyne. It's a LeMoyne beer.
Oh right, you told me about this.
Also delicious. Jim says he chooses cold beer. Can't argue with that.
What a tremendous pick.
I mean, I can't argue with that. Unless it's a Guinness. Guinness is better not ice cold because that's the way you're supposed to drink it.
Yeah, some say. I prefer things cold. Even Guinness.
Even Guinness?
I just like cold things in my, only coffee I'll take warm.
That's fair. Are you a tea guy? No.
Sorry to chuckle, but no. I know you're a tea guy.
I was gonna say that's a little. I got iced tea right here. I mean, that's my
iced tea. Yeah, no, I'm not a tea guy.
Okay, that's fair. Not everyone's a tea guy. I'm not really I drink coffee, but I wouldn't call myself a coffee guy.
Mark, the people at home, I got a question. What is that on your head here? I don't know the exact name for that type of hat.
This is my flat cap.
I got you. It's very Irish. I know that.
It's handmade in the motherland. Handmade in Ireland.
You got razor blades under there like the Peaky Blinders? Or no?
Maybe. I'm not going to confirm nor deny.
Don't confront Mark out on the hill tonight.
The presence of razor blades in my cap. But no, I got this a number of years ago. I love this hat. I roll it out probably too often. Yeah. I know Pat likes to make fun of me for it. Shout out Pat.
He does.
Already, I think he's been downtown for 4 days, getting ready for the parade. But yeah, he does make fun of me for it. But I love this hat. It's
a nice hat. I wouldn't it's good.
And wool, which in the studio gets a little toasty.
Yeah.
My head does in fact get a little warm when I wear it in the studio.
Okay.
Jim calls it a Payne Stewart hat. Yes, Payne Stewart did wear one of these. Bryson DeChambeau.
Yes.
Wore a flat cap on tour for many a year, and then he took steroids and started wearing a regular baseball hat because his head was too big. Yeah, I love this hat. It's part of my. I feel like I look like a good Irish lad today. Oh. I've got the sweater on, some khaki pants, the cap, trimmed up the facial hair a little bit today. Went just mustache, which I've been doing for a while, and
good Irish look.
Yeah, I feel like I look like a good Irish lad.
Got a peacoat with you too.
I do have an overcoat with me as well. It was a little
Irish
chilly this morning. Yeah, feeling Irish. I'm a proud Irish American. I've said it many a time. Very proud of my.
There's too many of you out there, I'll tell you.
It's too many Irish.
Too many proud Irish.
Too many proud. You're in the wrong city, pal. Let me tell you, you were in the wrong city to say something like that. Yeah. We are everywhere.
Oh yeah.
I can. Jim asked if there's a box score float in the parade today. Sadly, no, but I do want to shout out the two Grand Marshals, David Lynch and Marty Cahill, two guys I've known for most of my life. and they're the grand marshals of the parade today. Two wonderful gentlemen.
What an honor. Too.
Yeah, it's a great honor. I know both of them are super excited. I saw Marty on Valentine's Day, which was also Ash Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I did something creative. Hayden and I went out to lunch and we went to Kitty Hoynes, and it was our date, and it was an excuse for me to get fish fry because I couldn't eat meat. So Jim is pointing out that there were people in the 93Q studio now. Yeah,
we're doing tours on the side.
There is a surprising amount of people in the building today.
We're trying to supplement cash here. I don't know if you realize it's getting a little dull. We're doing tours in between. They're waiting for us.
Usually we're alone in here on Saturdays. Yeah. And there's a lot of people here. And of course it had to happen on the day that we were drinking beer during the show, which I think is very funny.
Yeah.
And we are being responsible, of course.
I'll just tell them we do it every week. No. This is how we always broadcast. You got a problem with that?
But yeah, it is kind of strange seeing how many people are here.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Marty and Dave. Like I said, I saw Marty on Valentine's Day, Ash Wednesday, at a pub, and he was so thrilled to have this honor. It's something him and David Lynch, so many people that are, integral to the Irish American community here in Syracuse, do so many things for the community, with Irish Fest, and they help with the parade and all this stuff. And it really is great for him to get that honor. And same with Mr. Lynch as well. I'm thrilled for both of them, and I'm excited to see them both later today to congratulate them once again. So we've got a lot of things to talk about on the show today. We got to take a time out. We'll be back in just a minute here on Outside the Box Score. With me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260. For the best local beer in central New York, the only place you need to look is Myers Creek Brewing Company, with 16 different beers on tap at both the Inner Harbor in Syracuse and the Palace that is the Cazenovia location. Myers Creek has something for everyone. Want a bite to eat? Both locations feature a kitchen with delicious pizzas, some of the best wings in Syracuse, and much more. Make sure to check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, the official bar of Outside the Box Score.
We've packed Burdick Nissan's new show.
Jim saying Delaware +3 against SU Lax today. I don't like that.
+3 goals?
Yeah.
Is that a lot in lacrosse or little in lacrosse? I don't know how. I mean,
I honestly don't know.
I don't even see college lacrosse scores on the score app.
Yeah,
I'm sure I can add them, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I just even in the apps I use and stuff, I never see college lacrosse. I've never even considered betting on college lacrosse.
Jim, do you got a line on the Dodgers against the Kiwoom Heroes?
Oh yeah, it's a Soul Series.
Yeah,
forgot about that.
No Shohei though, right? Or he's be DHing probably.
Yeah, he's playing. Him and his wife went when he got secretly married, and he was like, "Yeah, she's just a regular Japanese girl," and then it turns out she's a professional basketball player. That child's going to be Superman.
Professional basketball player for Japanese women's league, though. I mean,
I saw her highlight tape.
Not bad.
Not pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, she's 5'11".
Oh, that's pretty big.
So she's that's like a small forward.
I would say she's a center in that league.
Yeah, that's like a small forward.
Okay. There's already games going on right now. We've got the American East Finals and the Ivy League Tournament Finals going on right now.
Was it Princeton and Harvard?
And the Brown Bears.
Oh, rah, rah, Radonia, rah, rah, Brown, which is their stupid chant that my dad heard at a hockey game one time, and he always repeats it when Brown is brought up.
That'd be an upset, as Princeton is the number 1 against number 4 in the conference, and then 1 and 2 in the American East. Vermont, of course. I mean, I don't know when Vermont's lost that conference in the last 10 years.
It was who were they playing the other day? 2 days ago, they had a game, and my dad and I were watching.
Albany, New Hampshire?
No.
UMass Lowell?
No.
Bryant?
No.
Wasn't the other day. I don't know. Maine? UMBC?
Maybe it wasn't Vermont. I could have sworn it was Vermont. But it was let's see.
Wait. Oh, the Ivy League. Sorry, that's a semifinal.
Yeah.
Yale and Cornell are still going, and they're 2 and 3 in the league. Okay. I don't like the I'll be honest, I don't like the finals on Selection Sunday.
Yeah,
Get them out of the way on Saturday.
I agree. Maybe it was New Hampshire. It was just, but the stat was, it was the first time in 8 years that someone who didn't play for Vermont won Conference Player of the Year.
Mm.
Vermont had 8 in a row.
But how many of them were Anthony Lamb? I mean, yeah,
7.
he was a fifth year. Yeah.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Wanted to go back to something Jim put in the Twitch chat earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually on the YouTube chat because he does both because he's a madman. And by the way, if you do want to watch the show, you can watch twitch.tv/marker_box or the Score 1260 YouTube channel. We've got a camera set up in here. Talk to us during the breaks, all that good stuff. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff on YouTube.
Sure.
Follow on Twitch, the whole 9. And he asked an interesting question about SU men's basketball as we sort of do our post-mortem on the season after a loss to NC State the other night, which included one of the worst halves of basketball I've ever seen Syracuse play in the second half.
Yeah.
Over under 8.5 players returning next year. I think it. So
I think under.
I was sort of going through the guys. So
How many seniors are there?
JJ's back.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't think there is a senior. Not
Not a single one.
No. SU's a fairly young team. JJ's back for sure, I think.
Yep.
I think Bell is back. There's
Okay.
people talking about Bell going into the transfer portal. I don't buy it.
I think yeah, I mean JJ obviously transferring this year. I don't
Yeah.
see why he'd want to move.
Mhm.
I could see Mintz maybe declaring
I think he's gonna be back.
You think he comes back?
I have a weird feeling that Judah Mintz comes back because his draft stock is exactly the same as it was last year.
I would have thought it dropped.
Well, he was already maybe a second round guy last year. Like it's
true. He
like,
wasn't that.
yeah, I think that he comes back.
Okay.
And so which if he does,
Yeah.
and I've been quite critical of Judah Mintz
Mhm.
at times this season. I think this team's going to be a problem, but we'll get to that. So I have a feeling that Judah comes back, JJ comes back. I think Bell comes back. Taylor, I don't know.
Mhm.
I really can't get a vibe on him. I mean, there have been SU fans like going on Twitter and tagging him and telling him to transfer.
Jeez.
Which I am so against. It's not even funny.
I mean, they're kids.
It's a college kid.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
The guy isn't old enough to drink.
Right.
And you're telling him that you don't want him.
Great. Glad to hear your opinion.
Yeah,
you're a reason he's
you're
going to
a
transfer
jerk.
possibly.
Yeah, like quit being a jerk.
Right.
And listen, I know Justin Taylor didn't live up to a lot of expectations that were put on him this year. I don't care.
I think it's going to come down to what level of recruiting Red gets. Because
I mean, we got a 5-star coming in next year.
Yeah, I just think he's going to want to really have his hold on the team. And I mean, if that comes down to bringing in another guard to play with JJ and Judah's just kind of the odd man. I don't know. I don't see a scenario where Judah's the odd man out, obviously. I guess I shouldn't. It's not a Joe Girard situation. Yeah. He's obviously a better player.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really just make that guy become a sixth man or something. I mean, he's the star of your team.
Yeah, and he wouldn't. The best guy they've got coming in next year, Donnie Freeman, is a power forward.
Oh, that's good. Needs some size.
Yeah, which needs some size, but also that means Malik's going to play the center again. And as much as I love Malik, I think he's better as a power forward. He's undersized, and he does really well for being undersized, but at the same time, he doesn't provide the big body that I think SU needs down there. I think Malik comes back. Kyle Cuff is already pretty much confirmed he's coming back. he after they got eliminated, he posted the schedule for Syracuse next year. He was like, all right, getting ready.
Damn.
So
Okay.
he's already pretty much confirmed that he'll be coming back. We get to see Chance Westry next year.
Right.
Because he didn't play at all this year. Jim says Hema, Mintz, Bell, Taylor gone. Mintz I could see going.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm confident that he's 100% staying.
I kind of think he thinks he can go to a bigger program. Not a Clemson bigger, but I think he thinks he can go to like an SEC school of like bigger than Clemson is what I was trying to say. I think he can fit in
like
somewhere.
A Bama?
Yeah, and like a Bama or, I mean, even in maybe like a Tennessee, a big Big Ten school, Michigan State, something like that. Like a big, almost blue blood-esque team.
Mr. Boheem says, is this thing on? So Mr. Boheem's in the chat now.
It's always been on, man. He's reading the comments.
Yeah, this is true.
We got Jim all the time in here.
But yeah, I could see Taylor gone. Jim says Bell won't like not starting. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know Chris Bell personally. I don't. If they said to Chris Bell, listen, we want you to come off the bench and just chuck.
Yeah, you'll get more usage probably.
Yeah, just come off the bench and nail threes.
Yeah.
You don't have to rebound. You don't have to pass. I think he would be thrilled with that.
You tell me I just got to sit behind the arc? All right.
I mean, which they tried to use him like that at times this year. And every time they tried to do that, Judah wouldn't pass him the ball, but that's beside the point.
Wow.
Yeah, Copeland comes back.
Love
for
Copeland.
sure.
Need him back.
If he doesn't come back, I'm going to be quite upset.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty high number of guys coming back.
Is this a roster? I mean, they won 20 games. It's hard to think. I think that's the other thing where, like, we had big expectations for this team, obviously being, like, the first year without Boeheim. I think it's a success.
It's absolutely a successful season.
Like, I get it's not the result you want. You didn't make the tournament. You're not competing for the ACC tournament finals even. But, like, 20 wins, pretty competitive. You had some big wins along the way. I don't know how much better realistically the first year under Red could have gone.
Yeah.
I think it's a good year. I just don't know, like, with this roster, what the actual ceiling is. I don't think it's this. I think they could compete a little bit more in the ACC for sure.
For sure.
But, I mean, I do need to see some more coming in.
I think, I would 100% call this season a success. It's the first time SU's won 20 games in the regular season in a decade.
Yeah.
So that's something. Were there growing pains with Autry? For sure. He's a first-year head coach. I don't care how long you've been with the program. Being a first-year head coach is a first-year head coach.
And let it be known, for all their struggles on the road, they were pretty damn good at home.
They were great at home. I think they went 12-2.
Right. Including
something
a win
like that
against UNC.
Yeah.
And shouts out to them. We were talking about it last night with some guys, and they're one of the teams that schedules tough out-of-conference opponents.
Yeah.
Some years that works, and other years you schedule an Oregon, and they end up being crappy, and it doesn't matter. It ends up being like a quad 2 lowish win, and it doesn't really matter for you. That Oregon win at the time was like, this is going to be one of our big ones.
Yep.
With UNC, it should have meant something. And now, I mean, mind you, Oregon's competing for the Pac-12 championship.
I was gonna say it looks pretty good right now.
Yeah, but Oregon, in theory, is not that good. They need to win the tournament, I think, to get in.
Yeah.
But,
we played Tennessee and Gonzaga this year.
Right.
Did we lose both games by 25? Yeah.
Did you look good in the first half?
I was going to say, were we down by low single digits in the first half of both? Yeah. SU was down by 2 at half against Tennessee, I think.
They really were a team of 2 halves this year.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, every game, it was like, which half is it going to be competitive?
Well, it annoys me because it was always the first half this year.
Yeah.
We were much a better first half team a lot of the year. SU has always been a second half team. In my entire life, they were a second half team. The amount of games I watched where it's like, down 12 at the half, this stinks, and then they win by 14.
I mean, you got to chalk that up to coaching, right? To some extent. I mean, just the idea that you have one of the greatest to do it,
Yeah.
able to make adjustments throughout the game and
Mhm.
kind of come out with a better game plan. Not to say that Red's not good coach. That's not what I'm getting
Yeah,
at.
I mean,
but it just kind of comes with the territory. He doesn't probably have to make a lot of those adjustments in his
mhm.
10 years as assistant.
Yeah.
And now he's just learning how to adapt better in game. So,
Yeah. Your dad's calling me out for ignoring him in the chat last
what the hell
week.
are you
by the way.
talking about? I told him, and now he's reading you.
I
so
just
stop.
missed it. Like
It happens, old
yeah.
man.
we get into a conversation, we go off on a tangent.
You got anything to mention with SU basketball right now?
Yeah,
Pipe
how's Georgetown doing, Mr. Bohem?
They won 3 conference games in the last 3 years, Mark. You don't need to go there, okay? Ed Cooley, by the way, I thought Ed Cooley was really going to do something against Providence. It didn't happen.
Did not happen.
3 times they played him this year. Never got the retribution.
Not
he
even
wanted.
close.
I'm telling you, you know what it is? It's that damn hair. It's got to fix it. There's got to be a way. Hair plugs.
Your war against Ed Cooley's hair is one of my favorite running
Gives
bits
me
on
the
this show.
heebie-jeebies. I'm telling you, you got kids in the program. How are you going to recruit people? Put on a hat or something in those recruiting meetings. Jesus.
Jim says apparently Georgetown's rumored to be interested in Judah Mintz. How would you like Judah Mintz on Georgetown?
He's a DMV guy.
He is a
He's from
DMV
Maryland.
guy. Yeah.
I mean, hey, we go. They got Epps this year, who's a point guard who just yaks.
I was gonna say, how would
Bring
you
in
like
another
having
guy.
another guard that refuses to pass the ball half the
At
time?
least Judah drives and can get fouls, and he's a pretty good foul shooter.
Yeah.
This guy just shoots threes, and he stinks. I hate him.
He just chucks it. He shoots 29%.
I mean, he scored like 30 in that game against Providence in the tournament, the Big East tournament, and people were like,
Yeah.
wow, he had such a great game. This guy's a star. And I'm like, no.
11 of 29.
Yeah, have you
Like-
been watching the entire season? I watch,
Yeah.
and I hate it every time. Why do we don't talk about yours? It's fine. Next year, I can talk all my smack. When they have a top 10 recruiting class this year, I'll be happy.
Do they really?
I think it's like a top 15 recruiting class.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
Oh,
Ed Cooley's that guy.
oh
apparently.
I am absolutely an Ed Cooley fan.
And the DMV is a hotbed of basketball talent.
Oh,
So I mean, they
it-
should be able to recruit some pretty good guys.
If anyone knows that, it's Syracuse fans.
Yeah, yes.
We love the DMV, dude.
Mhm.
I think Donnie Freeman, the guy coming in next year, DMV. Like Mello, DMV.
Yeah.
SU loves their guys from that area. So yeah, it always did amaze me that more of those guys don't go to Georgetown.
Well, I mean, for a long time, like my boss was asking me the other day, we were watching that game. He's like, "Oh, Georgetown isn't that good, huh?" And I'm like, "No, they haven't been good in like almost 10 years.
Yeah.
They've been terrible." And he's like, "I thought they won a tournament." I'm like, "They won the Big East is like a miracle. That
That-
year they won was crazy.
Didn't they win like
2019 or 2020.
yeah, didn't they win like 14 games that year and then won the tournament?
Yeah, they were a 12 seed. As a
Yeah.
Power 5 tournament. They were a 12 seed.
Yeah.
They lost to the Buffs. Like,
Yeah.
it was disgraceful.
Hmm.
They had no business being in the NCAA
Yeah.
tournament that year. They're just bad. They've been bad. It's one of those things. Like it happened with Syracuse. We saw this year. Obviously, they had a better transition. But when
Yeah.
you lose one of those elite coaches,
Mhm.
and JT3 was, I mean, not elite maybe, but he was
Solid.
Georgetown.
Yeah.
And his family is Georgetown. The legacy,
Yeah,
all that.
His name's John Thompson. That's pretty
Right.
good.
Exactly. Moving on from that is just a struggle, almost as an identity for a university, and so it just kind of fell
And
off a cliff.
I understand what they tried to do too with bringing Ewing in.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, what the reason we were so good is our coaches bled Georgetown. So
Yeah.
let's bring in a guy that bleeds Georgetown.
Sure.
And it just turns out that Patrick Ewing was a terrible coach.
Patrick Ewing, I got a beef with him too. Pat Ewing, I thought he'd be great so he could teach some young men
Yeah.
some moves. He was a fatty when he was at Georgetown. And hey, I get it. I understand. Now he's doing DraftKings ads. He looks like he's lost
looks
150
great.
pounds. He's out there cooking. He's still sweating through his shirt, but that's
Yeah.
okay. I get it. Some guys sweat a lot. Pat, what the hell happened? Now you're going to lose some weight to do a DraftKings ad with Kevin Hart? Get out of here.
It's a pretty funny commercial.
It's a good. That's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is he put no effort in. He's a bad coach. He didn't care, and he's gone.
Glad
Bye,
he's
Pat.
gone. He was.
I love
Or
you,
actually,
Pat.
I'm not glad he's gone.
I love you, Pat.
I would have loved to see Pat Ewing coach Georgetown for 25 years. The job he was doing.
Yeah.
All right, that's our Georgetown talk for the day. I feel like I gotta let you get some Georgetown talk every once in a while.
Well, yeah. I mean, just to recap the atrocity,
Yeah,
they won one conference game this year. I mean, meaning they lost to DePaul once.
I was gonna say.
That's all
What-
that means.
Did they lose to DePaul?
Yeah, they had. Yes.
Well,
Yeah, the first time.
did they play him twice?
Yeah, the first time they lost to him.
Oh.
I'm like 90% sure.
Yeah.
They're not good. Like you were saying, the entire year you've been like, well, you're not DePaul bet. No, they are.
They did lose.
They're absolutely
No, they
DePaul
didn't
bet.
lose to DePaul. DePaul did not win a conference game.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm positive because I saw shout out Jay Kuda on Twitter who does all these weird sports stats.
Yeah.
And it was a list of teams with more Big East wins than DePaul this year, and it included like Hawaii. Like it had some hilarious teams on it. So no, they only played DePaul once this year, and they beat them by 3. I believe was the score.
It was tough. It was tough.
But
They
hey,
have a bad team.
they weren't DePaul bad because they beat DePaul.
DePaul's probably the worst Power 5 team there is.
They should be kicked out of the Big East.
Yeah.
We're going to take a timeout. We got a lot more to talk about here on Outside the Box Score. Phone line's open, by the way, 315-671-1260. If you want to chime in, that's 315-671-1260. We'll be right back here on the Score 1260. If you're a fan of local craft beer, the only place you need to go is Myers Creek Brewing Company with 16 brews on tap at both the Cazenovia and Inner Harbor locations. Myers Creek has the best selection of locally brewed libations in all of central New York. Want a nice hazy IPA? The Velvet Fog is a must-try. More of a traditional Pilsner, how about the Floatin' on By? And for you sour drinkers, the It Takes Blue to Mango. So crack open a cold one with the official beer of Outside the Box Score, Myers Creek.
Hi, I'm Joe Serio, Top Tier Roofing.
Yeah, maybe I'll celebrate some Irish spirit with Banshees of Inisherin today. You're just
Yeah,
not nice anymore.
Real feel-good movie, that one.
Yeah, well, I'm killing them with feel goods lately.
Yeah, that's true. The Hoyas will be back. No, they won't.
I think so. I
No,
actually do.
Jim said on 24/7 Sports, the number 17 class next year. I didn't realize that. That's a damn good recruiting class.
Yeah.
They also have a guy coming in named Caleb Williams, which is hilarious.
I remember.
I love athletes with the same name.
I remember when Chet was even coming to, when he chose Gonzaga, he was like linked to Georgetown for a little bit there.
I remember
and
that
then,
too. Yeah.
Well, we know how that worked out. He goes to Gonzaga. He's a top 1 pick. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it happens. I also love that kid they got like 2 years ago, something Muhammad, and he went to the G League after 1 year.
Yeah.
I forget his
That's
first
right.
name, but yeah. I don't know. They're just bad. It's bad. It's
They are
okay.
bad.
Mark, what are you planning? You're going out of the parade right after this?
Yeah, what I'll be doing is I'll be driving home.
Yep.
And then getting driven to the parade.
That's smart. That's responsible.
It is responsible, doing this responsibly. But it's just one of those things where it's like, I got to
right here.
drive past the parade to get home, then get a ride back here to the parade.
You got the old
which
ball
is
and chain
around the corner.
You got the old ball and chain with you tonight, or no?
No, she's working.
Oh,
Yeah.
free man out of town.
Yeah, just gonna
Just
hang out with
ripping
Pat
Guinness.
and,
Just-
and might have a Guinness or two.
I was gonna say, are you gonna go full Guinness today?
It's one
tough.
of those days. Listen, I love Guinness.
Sure.
No free ads. I love Guinness.
Yep.
I can't drink more than like 6 of them.
I can't. That's such a big no.
No, but like or I shouldn't
Yeah,
even
yeah,
say
yeah.
6. Probably 4 is
Yeah.
when I start to be like, oh, I'm feeling heavy.
Yeah.
But
They get you.
I'll be hanging out with Pat. I'll be doing the whole thing. Yeah, I'll probably only drink Guinness today.
As you should. One day a year, if you just chug Guinnesses.
I wish it was one day a year.
Well, just Guinness. One day for just.
Yeah, I
Guinness.
wish it was one day a year. Got Irish Fest.
Anytime,
You
honestly,
got
whenever you take me somewhere on tip, like Kitty Hoynes, I feel weird not ordering a Guinness. There.
Yeah.
That's like
Well,
certain
because
places.
they have, again, no
Great
free
cat.
ads. They have the best Guinness in Syracuse.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I think they pour the best Guinness.
It was delicious.
Oh, yeah, it's fantastic. Kitty Hoynes, if Myers Creek doesn't care about exclusivity. Outside the box score, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Hey, Jamie, I'll throw you on hold, all right? I haven't heard from Jamie in a long time. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260. We're going to hop over to the phone lines, and I think I have a feeling why I know this guy is calling. That guy is Jamie, the FedEx guy. Jamie, how we doing this weekend?
Doing pretty great. How about you?
I'm doing well. Glad to hear from you. I have a feeling you're calling because I was trash talking your Hoyas.
Oh, no, that's one thing I was going to say. If you guys didn't bring it up, one Mike McAllister yesterday said he has a funny feeling that Mintz is going to go transfer portal Georgetown.
I didn't even see McAllister said that. That's interesting. That would, if Judah Mintz transferred to Georgetown, I'd be the most angry person on the planet. I actually would be furious.
Yeah.
If I don't care if Peter Carey transfers to Georgetown, any SU player transferring to Georgetown feels illegal, and I hate it.
Ed Cooley knows something about a little cheating going on there. If you cheat with the other school like that,
Oh,
respect
yeah.
that. He'd take Mintz.
And then, Mark, baseball season's pretty much here. You excited?
I'm very excited. I've been really tuned into college baseball so far. Watched a lot of my Arkansas Razorbacks. Razorbacks 15-2 now on the season after beating Mizzou last night. Hagen Smith, another dominant outing, 6 shutout innings with 10 strikeouts. The lefty going to be a first-round pick in the draft this year. And watch out for him, too. He's currently got, what was the number? It was in 23 innings, he's got 50 strikeouts and 8 walks. He struck out 17 guys in 6 innings one game. There were 18 outs in 6 innings.
Yeah,
he struck out 17 of them. Guy's a monster. So I am very excited for baseball season. We've got the Seoul series in Korea with the Dodgers going over there. So that's going to be fun. There have been some great spring training promotions they've done this year. They went down to the Red Sox went down to the Dominican Republic for a series against the Rays. They've been doing the spring breakout thing, which is just prospects.
Oh.
They had one the other day. It was Pirates Orioles. So you had Paul Skeens versus Jackson Holiday. That was a lot of fun to watch. There were 4 number 1 picks in that game. Henry Davis, Adley Rushman, Paul Skeens, Jackson Holiday.
Rushman, well, yeah, he's prospect, kind of.
Well, they put him in that game because he's number 1 pick. They were just like, we'll throw Adley in there. That's fine. And so 4 number 1 picks in that game. I'm very excited for baseball season. My Red Sox are going to stink. Your Reds might be okay, Josh.
I think so. I mean, their starting third baseman got a PED charge, but other than
that's true.
Other than that, that's why they signed Candelario from the Cubbies.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
And Jamie, on your Cardinals, they're weird. The Cardinals are a strange team. Sonny Gray, I think, was a good signing, but do you want him to be your ace at this point in his career? He's 33 years old. I know he's coming off a great year in Minnesota. Maybe with the quote-unquote smaller market, he'll do well because that's where he's done well in his career. He went to the Yankees and he stunk, but every other team he's been on, he's been quite good. So the pitching we'll see, but you got to love a lineup with Goldschmidt and Arenado.
Oh, absolutely. And then, Mark, did you like getting Saquon Barkley off of those Giants?
Okay, so I don't like paying running backs. I'm very open about this. I've said it for years.
12 million? 13?
Yeah, 12 million a year, or 12 and a half, I think.
Yeah.
I don't like paying running backs. I don't like signing running backs to multi-year deals, especially ones with an injury history. And Saquon does have a fairly extensive one. But he's 27, which I'm okay with.
Yep.
You can get a few more years out of that. And it's Saquon Barkley. When he's on the field, he's so good. And now he's going to have an offensive line for the first time in his career.
True.
So that's nice. A
team that refuses to run through the tackles, too. That's always fun for Saquon.
Yeah.
Get him out in
get him out in space, and that's when Saquon's at his best. I want to hate it.
Yep.
But I'm lukewarm on it.
Even as a Cowboys fan, I'm excited that 3 teams in the NFC East really got a lot better this year, and one of them decided to go all in and do nothing. So I'm excited to see how competitive that division is. I just love seeing the division do well, to be honest with you.
You don't care at all about the Cowboys, no.
No, well, yeah, letting Tyron Smith go to the Jets.
What are they doing?
I don't know. Mind you, they paid him like $14 million a year, up to $20 million with incentives, which I think is kind of crazy for an also injury-prone guy.
Well, it's just 1 year.
Right, but
Yeah.
I'm saying up to $20 million
Yeah.
for a year for Tyron Smith, who didn't practice last year basically at
Yeah.
all. Like, he's just constantly hurt. He's great, but I don't know. That does seem like a lot of money, but in a year where you pitch that you're all in, what
Buddy.
the hell does all in mean if not re-signing your perennial Pro Bowl left tackle?
Buddy,
I don't know.
listen, we had the owners of the Red Sox earlier this offseason say the Red Sox are going full throttle.
Yeah.
That was the wording they used was full throttle. They traded Chris Sale. Like,
Yeah.
we got Vaughn Grissom. We signed frickin' I'm drawing a blank on his name now. We signed a guy who immediately got Tommy John. Oh, Lucas Giolito. We
Yep.
signed Lucas Giolito, done for the year. Immediately got Tommy John. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And I understand the feeling.
I've never really been, hear me out, as a lifelong Cowboys fan, you hear a lot of Jerry Jones slander. And for a long time, I've defended that guy.
Oh, you shouldn't.
For some reason, I think this may be the year that I'm starting to doubt my fandom.
I think he stinks.
Because it's just an embarrassment.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. Him and his son. I sell the team. I don't even care. Sell.
I don't know how many good owners there are in football.
Not a lot. Not a lot.
The Eagles have a good owner, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess.
Luria, like I like Luria, but
Sure.
I mean, like, who else? Like,
San Francisco, like teams.
Well, I'll give the Rooneys and the Maras.
Yeah.
Are
Kroenke
good owners.
You gotta just like an owner who commits to fully tearing it down to win.
Yeah.
Kroenke did it. He traded first-round picks for 4 years just to be like, well, we're gonna win a Super Bowl, and that'll be enough for a decade.
Yeah.
And it is.
Yep.
I'd be okay with that. If we were terrible for 10 years, but it meant winning a Super Bowl, I'm full in.
How about winning more than one playoff game?
Well, yeah, but I don't want to
baby steps, Josh.
Yeah, try something. Try something. I mean, the idea that if CeeDee Lamb were to get hurt, their next best options are Brandon Cooks and Jalen Tolbert.
Yeah.
They only have one running back on the team right now, Mark, and he couldn't play at a Pee Wee. He'd be undersized in Pee Wee.
It's Deuce, right?
Yes. I mean, he's a 5'2" running back.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The roster, I hate it. I hate it all. I'm not looking forward to August at all.
They said they're going to bring it back, and I just wanted to say, have a great St. Patrick's Day weekend, and a shameless plug to myself. My last name's O'Hara, born on St. Patrick's Day.
Hey,
happy birthday, Jamie.
Happy birthday, Jamie. You have a great birthday. You have a great St. Patrick's Day weekend. Enjoy any beverages you might have responsibly, of course, and maybe stop by our friends in Myers Creek while you're at it. I don't know if you're out on the route today and tomorrow. I hope not. I hope you're able to enjoy your birthday weekend. But it was great to hear from you and talk to you again. All right, buddy?
Yes, indeed. Sounds good. Thanks, fellas.
There he is, Jamie the FedEx guy calling in. We're going to take a timeout. Be right back here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260. For the best local beer in Central New York, the only place you need to look is Myers Creek Brewing Company with 16 different beers on tap at both the Inner Harbor in Syracuse and the Palace that is the Casanova location. Myers Creek has something for everyone. Want a bite to eat? Both locations feature a kitchen with delicious pizzas, some of the best wings in Syracuse, and much more. Make sure to check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, the official bar of Outside the Box Score.
Ready to take your career to the next level? Make your next step count and choose
The Amari
Dot
Cooper
Foods.
trade we made a couple years ago, where Judy gets traded for like a fifth, and you're like, you couldn't trade a fifth rounder for Jerry Judy?
Well,
on a
I think
team that
Jerry
needs
Judy
a wide
stinks,
receiver?
so.
What?
Yeah, I'm out on him.
Really?
Yeah.
I think he's one of the best route runners in the league.
I loved him in college, and he's done nothing to me in Denver.
He's just had crappy quarterbacks in my mind. He's got a little bit of diva in him. I will give you that. He's got a little bit of diva.
Yeah.
And that's why I got out of the Amari Cooper game in our dynasty, because I feel like it's not going to gel well necessarily with both of them needing targets.
Yeah.
And Elijah Moore will be forgotten, but it is what it is. You see deals like that, and you're like, how easy is even Keenan Allen for a fourth?
Yeah, that
You
was
have
a
comp
fleece.
picks.
Like,
Yeah.
Keenan Allen's still so good. He's coming off one of the better years of his career.
Right. He played like 12 games and had almost almost like 1,300 yards.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And
we're on the YouTube, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Your dad says those cards are getting old, Goldie especially. Yeah, they're getting old, but they're still good.
I
like
think
Arenado and Goldschmidt are still good. I'm gonna bet on them being good until they're not.
I've told him for a couple months. I think the Cubs are the team to beat in that division.
Probably.
I think they've made the most moves. The
Yeah,
most competitive.
I like the Cubs.
Yeah. I don't think the Brewers are going to be all that good
No.
this year, and they just lost.
Well, they
Devin
traded
Williams.
Burns. Yeah.
Well, yeah, losing Burns.
Yeah, Williams is
hurt.
out. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. I want to talk a little bit about SU women's basketball as they await their selection. I believe they're projected to be like a 5-6 seed in the tournament.
Okay.
That's happening today.
Mm-hmm.
Is the women's selection show. They did get eliminated from the ACC tournament, sadly, by Florida State, 78-65. Never really showed up in that one.
No. They were down the entire game.
Down the entire game. It was a shame to see because I do think that this Syracuse team can go on a run.
Mm-hmm.
I really do think they've got that in them. When you've got one of the best players in the country, in my opinion, Daisha Fair,
Yep.
You're absolutely capable of going on a run in the tournament. And by the way, you know who the center for SU women's basketball is?
No clue.
Her name is Isabel Verajao.
No.
Yeah, it's his niece, I think.
Oh.
And
Big frizzy hair?
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, it's Anderson Verajao.
His niece.
Yeah, I believe it's his niece.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw that recently, and I was like, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. There aren't many basketball players with the last name Verajao.
Right.
So I should have assumed that they were related, but I had no idea until recently. So a little bit of celebrity on the Syracuse team.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I think March is all about having one guy.
Yeah.
Who just takes over.
Mm-hmm.
And like you've seen it, I love Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker is my favorite college player of all time. He did it.
Mine is Jimmer Fredette.
But yeah, yep.
Like
thing.
for the same reason.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Buddy Hield did it.
Yep.
Trey Young. I mean, you've seen it all throughout.
Mm-hmm.
But with Aisha Fair, and I said it last week, I think 5-6 is a great range for them.
Oh, yeah.
You can get an easy round one matchup in theory, get a pretty decent, favorable round two matchup. Then you're in the Sweet 16, and you got a little momentum.
Anything can happen.
That's right.
I
love that.
A team with great momentum in the Sweet 16, I don't care what seed you are, that's a tough team to beat, especially when they've got a player the caliber of Daisha Fair.
You get 80 minutes to peak back up.
Yep.
And you're good.
It's so listen, this is a really good team. And I know that, maybe Syracuse, the men, they accept a bid to the NIT, whatever. No one cares about the NIT.
No, I don't.
I was talking to my mom about this yesterday. She was like, well, that'd be cool. At least they'd play in a tournament. I'm like, do you care about the NIT? Because I don't care about the NIT.
No.
And no one
I think
in this area cares about the NIT.
I think raising NIT tournament banners is like embarrassing.
Oh, absolutely.
I would put it in a trophy case, but not.
Yeah. No, you
Don't
put the
raise a
trophy in a
banner.
case. Do not raise a banner.
Don't remind me of that.
Yeah, we won the tournament for people that weren't good enough to be in the actual tournament.
Right.
Like, come
Good news
on.
is Georgetown won't even make that, so I don't have to worry about
That's
that.
true. They wouldn't sniff it.
Yeah.
I think you have to be 500, right? Isn't that one of the?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's qualifications. Your dad says Kemba won you $2,300.
That's right.
What?
I did a bracket when I was a genius in 2011.
I didn't know this
or
story.
2010, when
Yeah.
UConn won it all.
Yeah.
I was just in Kemba We Trust. That I changed that when you used to have signatures on your phone. Remember that?
Yeah.
I changed mine to in Kemba We Trust, and like throughout it, he was like, "Yeah, I mean, he could win. You're pretty much you just need UConn to win it, and you'll get." And I remember like staying up that night. It was huge.
Yeah.
I love Kemba Walker.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
What a great story.
Yeah, it was the biggest hit of my life. That's the biggest gambling hit of my life. You tell
Yeah,
me?
I mean, I imagine so. $2,300.
That's how you become a degenerate. You get that first win at
That's
10,
how it
and
happens.
you're
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
that's how
boy,
it happens.
This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kemba, hence why Kemba's my favorite.
Yeah, that's great. I just like watching a guy that would pull up from the parking lot.
Him and Jeremy Lamb with that Olander kid
Yep.
as well. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That was a good team, too.
Oh, it was a
UConn's
really
just,
good team. Is that Hashim Thabit as well?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big man on those teams.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yep.
watched the cardiac Kemba clip against Pitt.
Yeah.
Every week.
This time of year, you
this
can't.
this time of year you can't avoid it, and every time it comes up, I watch it 8 times.
I saw it was the anniversary. You tweeted something about the anniversary of the Cuse.
Oh, yeah.
6 overtime game.
Best game in the history of college basketball.
Yeah. And I love that the tournament is staying in MSG
It has
until
to.
2032.
You
Yeah,
can't have the Big East tournament anywhere else.
No.
It should be illegal.
I hate St. John's, obviously, but I loved Rick Pitino getting the coach in the semifinals yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
What
Him and Hurley went at it.
Oh, yeah. I hate Dan Hurley. You know, I said this in
Yep.
the chat the other day. I
Mhm.
really can't stand him. The audacity of a coach to continue to call out fans throughout the season. The amount of times he pointed at a guy and be like, hey, get down here. Say it to my face.
Yeah.
See what happens. It's like, what are you doing?
That one he got like sort of in trouble for the "I'll knock you out" thing.
Yes.
That was taken out of context because he meant in the tournament.
Okay.
Like he meant the team will knock your team out in the. I
Right,
believe it
right.
was Seton Hall.
Yep.
That's what he meant.
Well, even after yesterday's game, and he's like, well, you know, the St. John's guy who he tried to get kicked out,
Yep.
couldn't get kicked out. And I said, no, I didn't try. I wanted him to see the end result.
Yeah.
I wanted him to stay there.
Mhm.
Sure. And then
Whatever
afterwards,
you say.
too, when he was like, yeah, I mean, these St. John's fans, thank God we're going to play Marquette tomorrow, a lot classier. And I'm like, Providence hasn't even played yet, you
Yeah.
jackwagon. What the hell's your problem? He's just a jerk. I
Yeah.
hate him. I can't stand him.
He is kind of a jerk, but at the same time, I don't know. I kind of like him.
You love him. I know you love him.
I do have. I have this
You
weird.
love bombastic coaches. With
I
nothing
do.
but- just like Sirianni.
Yup.
Just like, yeah.
Well, Sirianni, I'm starting to turn on a little bit. Actually,
He's all passion, nothing behind.
Yeah, exactly.
dude's an
It's
idiot.
only passion. At least Dan Hurley's a good coach. Sirianni, I'm a little peeved on, and that set off the Siri on my phone. But yeah, I've sort of turned on him a little bit. We got to take one more time out. We'll come back, wrap things up. Still got to mention the high school basketball tournament as well. So we'll be right back here on Outside the Box Score. If you're a fan of local craft beer, the only place you need to go is Myers Creek Brewing Company with 16 brews on tap at both the Cazenovia and Inner Harbor locations. Myers Creek has the best selection of locally brewed libations in all of central New York. Want a nice hazy IPA? The Velvet Fog is a must-try. More of a traditional Pilsner, how about the Floatin' on By? And for you sour drinkers, the It Takes Blue to Mango. So crack open a cold one with the official beer of Outside the Box Score, Myers Creek.
We were on YouTube.
Yeah, he did. He
I
did
did-
say in the chat, was that an F-bomb?
Wow, it's YouTube.
Yeah, well, it didn't go over the air, thankfully. I would have scrambled for the button.
We dumped that.
Yeah.
We haven't had a mistake. We almost did. I forget why. It was me, but
I've
I
almost
did.
almost slipped up before too.
Yeah, it happens.
But yeah, we have never had to hit the dump button,
Mhm.
which for the two of us,
That's pretty good.
that's pretty good.
Because if you saw us in the conversation off the air,
Oh yeah.
I'm letting them rip.
If you listen to Hot Stove in
yeah,
college,
a lot of F bombs.
I mean, at least one of us would drop something every week.
Yeah, Connor was a wild card.
Oh yeah, Connor was wild. I mean, you and Austin, all
Yeah,
of us.
yeah.
Nunez was the only one I think that never slipped up.
Nah, dude.
And
Did he not want to be involved in the tournament thing? By the way, when
he
you
never
pointed out?
he never said anything.
Yeah, because
about it.
I had said it, and you were, and
Yeah.
he was like, he just didn't say anything.
Yeah.
I was like, I assumed it. Like you.
I'm gonna ask him personally, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if he wants to.
because Adam's been on my butt to do it, and I'm like, yeah. I
He
mean,
asked me about it. Adam hit me up. I was like, yeah, it'll happen.
Yeah.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. Wrapping up another fun-filled hour. Do want to mention
Mhm.
we do have the high school state boys basketball tournament going on right now, and we have a team playing in the finals.
Yeah, which school? You said it was a surprise. I've been waiting all hour.
West Genesee. It's not
Really?
West Hill. West Hill actually got eliminated
I thought for
quite
sure.
early. But it's West Genesee. They're playing tonight at 7:00
Mhm.
in the Class AA final. There was another one, Marcellus
Yeah.
actually was they played yesterday, and they ended up losing. They went down to Stillwater 59 to 50. So Marcellus was going on a little bit of a run, and then West Jenny looking to bring back another back-to-back. It would be state titles for Syracuse area schools, with West Hill winning last year.
Jim, you got a line on you got a line on that game? The West Jenny.
Give me the Warriors minus, or the Wildcats minus.
You think they'd be favored?
Yeah, I think they'd be favored.
Okay.
Give me the Wildcats minus 4.5.
All right.
That's what we're calling it.
I'll toughen the barn into that. There you go. I was just trying to do an Irish thing.
Yeah, sure you were. That's what
Fantastic.
we'll call it. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you for everyone in the chat. Mr. Boheem, Jim, Jamie the Facts Guy for calling in. Thank you to you, Josh, for being here. We'll be back next week. Same time, same channel, 11 a.m. right here on The Score. Peace.